My name is Michael Kane. Well, actually, it's Peter Cobley. It is Thursday, 21st of March, and I'm in Costa Coffee in Ashton after a Boots Optician contact lens appointment, which involves a little bit of jiggling with my varifocal lens for my left eyeball. Yeah, I've enjoyed today. Had about 2 hours of sleep during the afternoon to try and shake off this god-awful cold and cough, and wrote some web copy, which was nice for founders. And I'd focused on consulting, which to me can be a positive and negative word, filthy, clean word. The long and short of it is when I get involved in businesses, I get very hands-on and get to know the staff and roll my sleeves up. And the concern I have, especially in the language we see nowadays of non-exec directors and consulting, is almost Wild West territory with possibly purveyors of snake oil or words for the sake of it, and wrapping something up in terms of consulting advice and not necessarily getting into a deep dive, pulling up the hood, looking under the bonnet, so to speak, and examining what needs doing with a business, which can put both client and consultant off. The consultant seems to have an impression that they must provide a very polished product, which is not the case at all, and the client can end up expecting that and feel they're not getting value for money. So to consult is to talk to ultimately, but talking's very good. It's about action, and action for me is getting involved in a business and looking at its financials, its staff, and its product or service, internally and externally. So that's to the internal world and the external world. And most advertising businesses are service-led, and the staff are very, very important, which can often be forgotten about as we focus too harshly, too formulaically on what's being knocked out service or product wise. And I put an interesting piece about that on my blog at founders.co.uk that you're welcome to read. It's nothing special, nothing of mind-altering substance, but what I try and explain in that blog is about looking at the financials, and cash flow is one of the biggest killers of a business, not so much in a P&L sense or assets and liabilities in a traditional financial sense. It's what cash have we got at the moment to run the business and pay the bills, and do we have a little war chest? And I think that's so important. Deep dive with the staff to get a feeling for how the staff are feeling, what they're seeing, what they're hearing is important. And last but not least, I love a little acronym that was taught to me many years ago by a guy called Dave Paxton when I worked at Reed Elsevier, or RELX as it is now, called WATS. And every business should use this acronym, which is what are we selling, how do we make it, what area are we selling to whom are we selling to, and what's its special features. And from that simple acronym, you're able to actually say, what are we selling, is it saleable, does the market want it, how are we making it, what's the margin, for example, what's the profitability, what does our customer think, what is our customer base, are we targeted or are we all over the show, what area are we selling it to, are we too tight to a city, are we too tight to a region, and what special features, what differentiates us in what can be a very cluttered and monosyllabic business. You know, what is really the difference between one search marketing agency and another in this game, or for that matter one creative agency versus another. And ultimately, for me as consultancy, non-exec director, whatever you want to use, it's about sitting down and seeing what money have we got, how can we use it, what staff have we got, how can we use them, what clients have we got, how can we use them. But using them is not in a literal sense, it's all about how they can use us and perform, create, mutually beneficial relationships, which ultimately lead to the greater good. Years ago, maybe not that long ago if I'm honest, I would polish the proverbial advertising turd with giving consulting or business advice in a very packaged, methodology, because that's what I thought you did. You know, a start, a middle and a finish, almost like a dissertation. There you go, there's the invoice, done it. But the problem with that is it's non-real, and it's very hard for clients to implement. Sometimes I think the best form of consulting is action, and ultimately action means sitting down, working, looking at things, and that does involve trust with clients, especially when it's an owner-managed business and it's their baby. But the output can be beneficial where you have happy clients, happy customers, and it's something that I excel at and I've delivered results on. The sales and marketing side I kind of leave to the latter part of the process, because you can't really sell what you don't know you're selling, and you can't really market yourself if you don't know who you're marketing to and what you're marketing, which I know can be stating the bleeding obvious, but it isn't always obvious to people. Anyway, have a look at the article on the blog section, which is called Say, of www.founders.co.uk. Any questions, jump on your back phone and call myself, Cobblers Esquire.